Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris. Grand Admiral difficulty 25 times crisis strength, syncretic evolution. It's Grand Admiral with scaling. So here we are, it's the year 2345 and we got ourselves embroiled in the war that we probably shouldn't have, with forces that are beyond our strength. And we're not quite prepared to do it. I jumped into something a little too anxiously there, but we're going to do our best to go up here and lay waste to these guys. They got a fleet of 20,000 up there, and one of 4 and one of 7, and we got a fleet of 38. This fleet is... I would like to see them get some reinforcements, but we're gonna do. We're crunched for alloys. Is the deal? Is we're trying to get our alloy production up. We have a lot of people at the econ. We don't have a lot of people at the econ office. That's the problem. Is we have all these jobs. We have 110 metallurgist jobs, and we just don't have people to work them. Our empire's a little behind on pops, even though we've kind of tried to do everything we can to manage pop growth here and boost it. But that's where we're at. So let's take a look at some of these other planets. One of the things we could do is start shuffling some of the people on these other planets, like this one. We could start shuffling them off to the Ecumetropolis to work these jobs. So we could go to, let's see, where is it? The EQ's right here. And we could come down here and we could start grabbing specialists and saying, hey, go work these jobs. Because somebody will come up then and take these researchers. We can take our metallurgists. That's what we should be doing. Any of our robots who are metallurgists, we should be taking them out of other planets if they exist. Like this one is a ruler metallurgist. I don't really want to take a ruler off of there, but here's a Zum ruler, and he's got a... Here's a Zum as an enforcer metallurgist. So, and these are metallurgists on this planet Haishma. So. We don't want to take them off there anyway. So we start looking for these people. Oh yeah, like here's a metallurgist. Doink. Metallurgists, miners. So we'll just start moving some of them over from other planets that have I wish the game was a little smarter. I wish it would always make sure that your metallurgists were only growing on your metallurgy planets that you need them for, but what is this? 5-year plans fail. Okay, let's take a look at this. Minor administration. So, greater good. 5-year plans fail. Can't be. Oh, it stinks. So once again, I missed out on something important. It's got to be fixed. They got to fix that. Paradox has to fix that. We need to know when it's getting close, and we need a countdown up here. So 5-year plans just went kaplooey. The Senate has voted and failed the resolution 5-year plans. That's just... So let's see, what do we have here? I'm going to pause this for a little bit. Keep looking for Ecumetropolis. Alright. So I'm looking for anybody over here that says metallurgist. I'm going to steal a few of them away. These guys are metallurgists and they're working farming jobs, and it's like, that's not ideal. We got people on our Dyson Sphere world. We got some metallurgists here. So any of these people, if we see them somewhere else, metallurgist, culture worker, and we'll take them and we'll move them. Metallurgists. And because they're specialists, they should automatically take that job, and that's what we don't want to do is lose spots. So we come over here and look at this and say, oh, now we have 31 people working those jobs. Okay. So I'm going to continue looking for the habitats are the other thing. We're trying to grow habitats here. Haishma. Do you have any metallurgists? Somebody had a metallurgist that was a leader, and I'd like to move that to that place. Here's a metallurgist. There's a bunch of them. Technicians on this planet. Don't want to decline. That's the only thing we don't want to do. So Obscike. Metallurgist. Oh no, not to Darzakia. Oh no. Gotta go back and move those. The EQ Anomalous. Go back to Darzakia. Right here. Metallurgist. Doink. Metallurgist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So we'll keep doing that. Any of these planets that have buildings that they can build. Miners. Metallurgist. Doink. Doink. Keep doing that. So those guys will really help. Get our EQ Anomalous populated. Colony established. Oh my. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's go look. Which one was it? It was this one. It's a habitat. So I've been doing this. I've been saying fortress habitat. And I've been putting everything towards housing and just waiting for people to grow on it. So there's the Trappist. Has a bunch of people in here. And you can probably move some of them if they have any. They got some metallurgists right here. Move that ruler metallurgist over. Oh, and they got metallurgists on this planet. We want to leave them there. So, except for these guys who are doing mining. Zoom metallurgist. Okay, and then we're there. Here about on this planet. What do we have? Okay, we probably need to pay attention to our war now. Oh yeah, these guys are here. Oh good, battle group. What do we have over here? Oh yeah, go crush them. Afterburners. Kinetic artillery, which is really nice to have. Flat cannons. Battle group over there. I'm going to do my best to pick off some of their smaller fleets here. EQ Monopolist has said, hey. Got a couple of rulers who are unemployed. Well, we'll take care of that.
Hostile station engaged.
And then we take some of these residential places and replace them with
hostile fleet
Foundry Arcology. Hostile fleet engaged. Let's go kick their butts. Oh look. Doink. What do they have up here? 7,000. We should be good to go do that. Yep, get them right there at the door. Ruler.
Research complete.
Okay. More research is complete, and we're having a little problem with our food again, so let's take some of that off. Let's take some of this off. Kitty, what are you doing? Kitty has jumped up on the table.
Hostile station engaged. Station under attack.
The ring roads. The next thing these guys need is peacekeepers.
Under attack. Research complete.
Research complete. Fleet command limit. That's nice. Starbase capacity. That's what I've been waiting for, so we can get rid of that red number up there. You guys ready to go up here? Let's go kick their butts.
Spaceport lost.
Spaceport lost. Where? Who? What? It's gonna be one of these other ones somewhere else.
Anomaly found.
Yes, go ahead and research that. Here we go. This planet. I'd like this one to start putting in people to work on. Here we go. Oh yeah, 4, 3. My boys are like, yeah, we're mowing you down. Good job. Good job, y'all. Okay, go here.
Spaceport under attack.
This is our Dyson Sphere one. It's not really a Dyson Sphere, but it's okay. Ransomware's emergency buoy. Okay. Could be a trap. No,
Situation log updated.
deal with that.
Research complete.
So on that planet, we're going to decide what to do with
Spaceport
it.
lost.
With that planet there. What are these guys doing? Go in here. Lay waste to them. We need to hurt their fleets. Settle status quo. What happens here? Closes. What's it do? It closes down the Beldroan branch office. Beldros Syndicate receives 1,000 for each closed branch office.
System
Every
survey
Darza
complete.
planet. Close down the Beldroan branch office. That's really just what I want. So let's close down their branch office. Okay. Golden Rule Challenge is coming up. We need money. Okay, research. Advanced Strike Craft. We need cash. Give me the cash. Place your bets. Okay, so we're going to spend all our money on this. Cancel this. We're going to need the money. Golden Rule Challenge is coming to win it, and the enter is the Darzak expansion is, hey, nobody else had money, so we got it. To the victor go the spoils. Alright, so if we invest it, business is booming modifier added for 12 months, trade value and energy credits. Distribute it amongst the Federation members, appropriate it. Keep the money, temporarily applies the Midas Stigma Empire modifier. What does that give us? Midas Stigma, monthly energy credits plus 10% will expire in a very long time. I like that. Well, that's a good choice. Okay, now we can worry about moving our empire forward. So we have a gateway over here. We don't have a gateway here yet. Do we have the... We don't have anything there yet for it. Okay. What are you doing? You're going over here. You are going to build a gateway construction site right there. And then this system here, I'm going to upgrade and put one trade station on so it can shoot its trade up to that direction. Starbase capacity. Okay. Here, this planet has... Can I resettle some of you to the Ecumenabos? What do you have? Do you have any of those magic people? Metallurgists? Right there. Boink. Metallurgists working as farmers. No. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my Ecumonopolis and I'm going to rename this. I'm going to rename this Monopolis. Monopolis. Okay. I'm just going to call it that. It's a thing of beauty. Faction. I'd like to tell it to enforce with the cops, but you can't tell it to say, like, prioritize these two things. You can't. I could do this.
Research complete.
That helps. That makes it better. And then 43 people are working there, which are providing 310 alloys a turn. So that's a big advantage over what we did have. Fleet command limit. Yes, please. It is the habitats. Okay, so the other thing is the habitats. So what are you doing? You're working on the matter decompressor, and that's coming along nicely. One of you other guys who built the gateway there, come down to Darzak. I probably should have sent you, but I want you building habitats. Habitat costs what? 150. Okay, build them. Because I need more habitats. We're going to need a bunch more. In order to get... And this is called EQ2 Spear M3. Call it. So that's where we're at with our empire. Not bad, and we're low on volatile motes. We need some motes somewhere, and the place where we can put them is ring worlds. Nope, can't put them on the ring worlds yet. Research complete. Habitat world. Let's find some places where we can put them. Like you guys. Sure, we will extend our deal. Here we go. Criminals, how are we doing here? 0. From Pops, 20. Governor skill minus 15. Corrupt, 25. So that gives me 45. So 45. 60 total from Pop jobs. We don't need to do... Cancel. Yes, it's a deal. End anti-crime corruption campaign. We don't need to worry about that anymore. Got these precincts dudes are taking care of it. Okay, so this shipyard is going to get Titan. Yep, Titan assembly yards. And then right here, I want to add Colossal assembly yards. Not that those need to be there. Greeting caravanners. Show us your wares. The Triumph Bauble collection. Not interested. Move along. Don't ask me about that again. You don't. Those guys are like the extended warranty people. Just don't bother me. Just don't bother me. Okay. This world was going to do 2 trade hubs. It's going to take its trade right here. It's going to point it there. And this one is going to point its trade to there. Yes. Because what I want to do is I want this to go here. No. Through the gateway. How come you're not going through the gateway? Okay. Because like this guy doesn't have a gateway yet. This needs to go here. And this, what is going on here? This is the homeworld, right? Everybody's going to Pytham because we moved our homeworld. Pieces of the ephemeral puzzle. Each member of the Pan-Galactic Information Cooperative will be tasked with a special project. Okay, issue special project cloud snagged. We need to do this. So track on a map. Go to, where is it at? It's right there in our home system. Research that project, please. I'm not understanding why this thing here should go to there. This one should go to there. This one should go directly to here. I don't understand what's going on there. It's like it's broken because we moved the city, or because we moved the capital. I don't understand. This is supposed to just go directly here. And it's not doing it. Oh, no. It's because Python doesn't have... No, never mind. I'm an idiot. Before you do anything, go here. Change this. Well, no, you got to do your job. Go do your job. I will construct another construction ship. We don't have... It's because there's no gateway there. That's why. That's why I'm dumb. Okay. I'm a big dummy. I'm a big dummy. Okay, well, we'll get that worked out shortly. Oh. We need some more commercial zones things. We need you guys. How many of these we got? We got crystals, 27. Provide some more jobs, folks, because I need more output.
Special project complete.
Our investigation of the Aurora-like cloud at Python 2 raised more questions than answers. Distinct tendrils of the cloud form whenever we beam communications to our allies. Blah blah blah. On our own, we are unable to discern any further meaning from these endeavors. But the Pan-Galactic Information Cooperative expects to have more answers once every member's results are in. Early theories proposed suggest these dimension-spanning entities somehow harmonize with our hyperspace communication band. This accidental lure could be kept in place in order to further exploit the entity for study, or we could switch frequencies in the hopes of dispersing it. Keep it free, set it free. What? Keep it here, set it free. Oh, keep it here. Let's see what happens. How are we doing? Habitats. What do you get? Oh, I know what I need to do. Never mind. I know you're important. But the very first thing we got to put in all these is robot assembly plants, because that's not going to work. And these guys are growing slow because of immigration. And in fact, pick one of these. Base trade route protection. Let's do that. So on this habitat, same thing. Let's distribute luxury goods. Make sure that these guys have, yeah, because they're having a little pop growth problem. I need to move some people to them. So we will do that. Tighten hull hit points. Let's go to a planet like this, which has 86 people. It's got a bunch of people working on it. And we're going to move some folks to the Habs. Move some grunt workers. Unemployed. And then, yep. And so, Hab 1. We're going to move enough people here to get slots opened up. Not the metallurgists, though. Okay, and then Hab 3. There we go. And now you other guys can move to Ecumenopolis 1. Metallurgists. Some metallurgists, good. Get over there. We gotta keep an eye on those guys. And there's a thing up here that's not been moderate economic sanctions. We're opposing all of those. Okay, let's go back to the Habs. Let's get robots on all of them. You guys are back here. Kindor, black hole. Let's go back there. How are you looking for 200? You're at 174. Battleship, K-class, Penn class, armor hull class, a few cruisers for point defense, and a few more of those. Let's do that. 1,200. We're going to use all that and reinforce that fleet. We're going to make them strong. Fleet command limits. Let's get... These are all repeatable, so let's get these other ones off of here. Trappist. Trappist, do you have... You probably do. Do you have any metallurgists that can go to Ecumenopolis 1? You got a couple. That's the thing we're looking for. Okay, what is this? Now possible to activate one of your relics. Well, I don't really want to right now because we don't have a lot of influence, and I want to save it for building gateways and things of that nature. This guy over here. Crime boss arrested on Burr. Excellent. This guy over here needs to go right here. He's got no orders. We need to tell him build a gateway. Lacking minerals. Oh, alloys. Okay, go there. It won't take but a couple of turns for you. 5 months and you'll have enough stuff. This is... And this habitat. Okay, let's do this. I know it's not going to put a lot of your people to work, but trust me on this. You're going to want those people. We need as many of those as possible. Those fortresses. This planet here is an interesting little conundrum because there's not a lot of spaces to do anything else with, like research or anything like that. So I think the smart thing to do is try to put refineries on it and a galactic stock exchange. We can do this, and that will provide more job. We might just want to put commercial zones on them to provide jobs, because a commercial zone provides 10 jobs, so it's worth 2 building slots as far as POPs goes, and these just provide housing. Gateway construction site. I would like to very much get that gateway underway, but it's the least important one right now at the moment. The more important one is going to be the one at Pytham. So what I want to do is go here and say, spend some money on those. It jacks the price up. And since we have money again, and we're not at war, let's go to buying these. Actually, let's buy 100 and see how that does. Help move that along a little bit. So here's a planet. This is interesting. We're probably going to need one more luxury residence, because by the time you upgrade all these and replace the 2 growth factors. And so this last slot, however, needs to be chemical plants. I'm not going to break my rules this time. So we're going to do that. So what we'll do is chemical plants are going to go down. We'll raise this one up. We're going to have to replace growth with at least one more paradise stone. And that'll be fine. We'll make that work.
Construction complete.
Yeah. You got some extra people. Can I move you to habitats? Who do you have for extras? Farmers. Want to move all those metallurgists. I wish I had some intelligent way to tell it. These people only belong on planets with those jobs, with alloy jobs. That's what I'd like to be able to do. But
research complete.
The game is not that smart. Okay, what do we have here? Yep, shields, energy weapon damage. There we go. Tighten the whole hit points. The Ketling Star Pack started to integrate the Awoken. Good for them. Education campaign. Closed borders from the allied realms. Make your names phonetically possible to pronounce. Should be rule number 1. They have to roll off the tongue. Passed moderate research sanctions. Okay, great. It's gonna be a while before we can get back this 5-year plans. Gotta work on that. Gotta work on that, and gotta work on. Let's see, what do we have over here? We have tons of gases. So let's work on getting Stellar Pact. The Awoken, they're gonna be integrated soon, so it won't matter. The Chinner Combine, I think we have a lot of favors from them, so there's not much that we can do to get those from them. So that's the Chinner Combine. Down here, the Curator Order, which you can't do anything with. Holy Guardians aren't part of the galactic thing. The Ketling Star Pack is, though. And there are favors to collect from them. So there's that. The Ketling Star Pack. Let's see who else down here. The Penthulans, who are part of our thing. I think we already have most of the favors. Oh, no, we haven't. We have a bunch of favors we haven't used from them. Okay. No, I don't want to do anything per month. I'll do something like that. So those are the Penthulans. Rising crime on Hab1, I know, and that's fine. Empire Sprawl from Pops. Let's go back to here. Penthulans. Who's next? Uv. The Uvzant. I don't think they have any oh, they do have some favors to give up for us. Nice. Exotic gases. Okay. And then who else? Enigmatic observers we can't deal with. And Zercope doesn't matter. Fragmented nation states. Nobody else we can buy those things from. It's my little piece of ground over there. Convenient, huh? Okay, you. Wait a minute. Let's go back up here.
Construction complete.
Python, what are you doing? Gateway construction site. Thank you. Get started on that. We need that. EQ2 is still building city districts. Okay. Probably need to build it some precinct houses. Put those to the top list and prioritize that. Empire sprawl from Pops. Explore to resource. The EQ Monopolis still has 2 people unemployed. What do you got for us? No, that's not interesting. I want to trade a lot of these residential arcologies for foundries. Like that. Soldier jobs. So there's some chemical plants. There's the crystal plant. This is raised up to 3 jobs. Those are so nice. I gotta learn a little bit more about that. Oh, and there's a galactic stock exchange. We should definitely do that. What else? Beldros displays psionic potential. Well, good for them. What else do we need on this planet? I think it's got what it needs. Yeah, you could always take one world and turn it into a culture world. It's got a bonus building, and you could make it do this so that it generates. Could you do it on a habitat, I wonder? You could put an autochthon monument down. And the auto curate requires habitat central control on planet. You could do it. You could do a habitat with just those. That'd be an interesting way to do it. Habitability. They only provide a couple jobs is the problem. It's really hard to do that. You'd have to do it on a planet with a bunch of different districts. But we have a bunch of planets, and I have a couple that I haven't decided what I want to do with yet. Like here, Haisham. This is Unity. What if we did that? What if we did a Unity planet? I mean, this thing is could potentially do that. It's a really interesting idea. I've never done it. There's also gas extraction wells on this planet. What if we did it? And rose that up and spent our time and said, prioritize culture workers. What if we did that? Let's see how much Unity that planet ends up cranking out over time. That could be a really interesting way to do it. I've never done that before. But I saw that building, and it's the auto curating vault. Culture workers output plus 15%. It's the same thing as a bonus building for research or Ministry of Production or whatever. So it exists. I've never really used it. Why don't we give it a try and see what happens? What's the worst that could happen? Worst could happen. Somebody right now is screaming at the screen. You need all the research you can get for 25 times crisis. What are you doing? Well, I want to make sure that when later on in the game, I want to make sure that I have a chance to have all these really nice edicts down here always on. Especially architectural renaissance, which is great. Monthly minerals +3, we're going to need that on all the time, helping feed into it. Naval capacity, will to power, we're going to need all these things on to grow our empire. So that's my thought process. This planet is getting closer and closer to being done. Let's see. It has all the core stuff. It's got a stronghold. It's got the galactic stock exchange. It's got one of these on it. It's got a bunch of research on it. It's got one refinery each. So what we can do, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to put, well, Here's what I want to do. I'm going to raise up some of these buildings. Provide a little bit more housing. I'm going to save this last slot. It needs to be for this guy down here, Research Institute. Energy, weapon, attack, speed, and the shields. Catch those up. How are we doing with the tech? You want to get it down to where it's like 4 months for each one of these, as fast as you can. But you know, you got to have like 30K for that. So we'll get there.
Research complete.
Titan Hole hit points. Habitat world. Ring world. We should probably get the ring world off of there. This planet is going to need its 3 refinery slots and the galactic stock exchange. And the rest of these will be cities. Let's see, what do we get? So this is done. That unlocks the last slot over here.
Ships upgraded.
Habitability, naval capacity, mega art installation. Get those off there. So Ascension perk available. Now we're down to the last 2, and I've kind of got to save it. I kind of want the Colossus project. Well, let's talk about what we absolutely have to have. We have to have Defender of the Galaxy no matter what. Damage to endgame crisis plus 50%. If we're going to be fighting something that's 25 times its normal strength, we have to have that. The question is what to do with the last spot.
Construction complete.
The Colossus is nice for blowing up worlds, but I don't think we need to blow up worlds. I actually think we need the production from every world we can get our hands on so that we can more easily get more resources. We need massive amounts of resources to build massive amounts of ships. So I think I may be making an error here. But what I'm thinking of is, I think this is my 4th habitat. What I'm thinking is nihilistic acquisition, because we're going to be going to war with some of these other people around us. And I think the smart thing to do is grab that next time we need it and use that to populate our worlds. It's not called, yeah, there it is. And what do we need? Oh, one must be true. Has the authoritarian ethic, has fanatic authoritarian ethic. One must be true. Xenophobe, fanatic xenophobe. Oh, so we can't use it. One must be true. We can't use it, so it doesn't matter. Rising unemployment. So even though I was thinking, oh yeah, we could do that. It's like, nope, you can't. We need a couple more people here. What is this? Chinnacomplain declared war. We'll now see which empire is stronger. We're at war with somebody. Chinnacomplain covers the Varlar realms. That's right there. Yeah, so our civics are, we're fanatic materialists and xenophile. It's not going to happen. We can't use that. Okay. Allied Varlar realms. Well, you guys are fully reinforced, aren't you? See, you're full. So this is the point in the video where shortly after this, I go into a bit of a rant about this. You can see right here, it says 210 of 210 command limit. But it's not full. You could see from the blueprint that there were a number of missing corvettes and a missing battleship. And so it was at this point in time, not right here as I'm adding clone vats to Hab 2, but it was shortly after that I start to go back to the fleets, and I just start to rant about the math of the fleet manager, which is just really bad. And after my kind of epic rant in Inward Perfection video number 18, YouTube and Google AdSense decided that they thought I had foul language on all my videos. So now every time I upload a video, they're upset about it. You can see I'm pointing at the 210 and I'm huffing. You can't hear it now because I'm just going to overlay this audio on top of it. But it's like it's full and I'm reinforcing it. You can't see what's causing this math to be off. That's the problem. There's something wrong with the fleet manager math. And right now I'm begging Paradox to fix the fleet manager is what I'm saying. You can't hear it in the video again. I'm going to overlay this audio on top of it so you can't hear me ranting and you can't hear all the F-bombs. But I'm really upset because you can't reinforce it. You could see that the fleet reinforcement button up there is yellow, meaning it's telling you it can be reinforced. You can see there it's yellow, the two little buttons, the two little arrows, but it says 210 of 210 because it's actually full. So if you hit reinforcement, your shipyards are going to build a whole bunch of ships that can't actually move into that fleet because it's full. And I'm laughing because of my ranting. There's a lot of F-bombs here, by the way. Yeah, there's 5 or 6 battleships right there, and there's 28 of 42, and I just said my 10-year-old can do better math than this. Yeah, and so there's something in the fleet that's not showing up in that blueprint, and I don't know what it is. And then here comes the Great Khan. Hey, we're the Great Khan. Okay, drums of war. And the fleet manager has been broken like this for a very long time. And I'm a little disturbed about the whole thing. In fact, I'm sitting over here and I have to turn down my own audio because I'm trying to listen to it and talk at the same time. And it's just really disturbing that fleet manager is still so broken. And I was saying that please give me the duct tape DLC. Don't give me Nemesis. Give me a DLC called the duct tape DLC that fixes these things, especially the fleet manager. I think if I had to take a poll now, I would guess that the fleet manager is probably the number one. It's the number one complaint other than late game lag. That's the number one complaint because so many people are playing on 1,000 star system and then experiencing late game lag. And the funny part to me is I've had a number of people comment on my videos over the last year or so and say, how come you don't have lag in the end game? Your videos look really smooth. Yeah, because I play on a 600 star system most of the time. I play on the default setting because it doesn't produce that end game lag. Now, what's going to be cool is there's going to be a patch released very close to the time Nemesis comes out, maybe even simultaneously with it. And they're reducing the number of pop jobs that a lot of buildings provide. So your research buildings and your alloys and consumer goods and those things, they upgrade from 2 jobs to 5 jobs to 8 jobs. Well, now the game is going to upgrade those from 2 jobs to 4 jobs to 6 jobs, so that as your empire gets really big on a 1,000 star system map, there'll be a lot less jobs, which means ultimately a lot less pops. And the pops are what cause that end-game lag. There's so many of them, thousands of them. And the AI has to run calculations on all of them for, is it moving to another job? Is it unemployed? What's its happiness? What faction does it belong to? There's a lot of things going on with each individual pop in the game. And unfortunately, people who are not software developers think that, just throw parallel processing on it. Well, you can't. It doesn't work that way. It's not magic. I really wish I could do like a TED talk on parallel processing, but in video games. But I know there are people who are even more qualified than I that could tell that story and tell you why more threads and parallel processing is not a solution to a game like this that has to do calculations, especially when one calculation is dependent on the value from a prior calculation, which is dependent on a value from a prior calculation. The calculations themselves are serial, and there's just no way to parallelize a lot of that. But that gets back off topic from what I was ranting about, which is this fleet manager being broken, which here I am going back to it again, and I think complaining some more. Yep, I'm still complaining about it if I turn the volume up so I can hear it in my headphones. and I've got my video capture software right now not picking up any noise from this video. So all you're going to get here is my voice and no clicks or loops or music or anything, and I'm sorry for that. But this is one of those frustrating. I think outside of late game lag, the fleet manager is probably number one on everybody's list of things to fix. It just really needs some love and care, because I've seen this complaint excuse me, from so many users who say, you know, they hit the fleet reinforcement button, and the next thing you know, your tiny outliner on the right hand side is full of individual ships, because those ships that can't get added into this fleet if you hit the reinforcement button, since it's full 210, 210, 210, those ships can't add themselves to this fleet, but they don't fleet up with each other either into a new fleet, and so they just spam your outliner. And even if you have the tiny outliner like I'm using, it just makes a giant mess. And I haven't scrolled down there, so you can't see it, but that's what you're gonna see. So here I am, episode 12. It's the year 2354. We're gonna have to deal with the Great Khan. We're involved in this war that's going on, and it would just be really nice if my fleet manager worked, because managing all your fleets is already a bit of an arduous task. I briefly turned up the volume again, and I'm listening to myself rant, and I'm saying, I know you have smart developers, and I know they do. That's the thing. You know, a company like Paradox has a whole bunch of really smart people working for them, and they have a whole bunch of really dedicated people in QA, and they have people who are passionate about this game and who know what they're doing. And so it makes you wonder where the ball gets dropped a little bit, because I know QA knows about this bug. I guarantee it. And I guarantee whatever method they're using to manage bugs and prioritize them and chart them, well, priority isn't really their business. Priority is going to be producer and director. They're going to tell you what to prioritize. And so they don't have a lot of pull in that area, I don't think. And the developers are going to fix what they're told to fix. So somewhere someone has dropped the ball on the fleet manager and said, well, it's not that egregious of a problem. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to let it stay this way. We're going to let it stay broken like this for several DLCs in a row. And I disagree with that decision. But part of the reason I also wanted to mention, part of the reason why I wanted to overlay this video over the rant is I'm really going to work hard from this point forward not to have that kind of content on this channel. Not only, and it affects my monetization, but that is a very small consideration for me. The much bigger consideration, in my opinion, is I have, for the last couple of years while I've been building this brand up and this channel up, I want to portray a certain kind of image. I want to portray something that's accurate to who I am as a person. But I also want to provide a certain kind of content on the internet. I can't thank all of the users enough. All the YouTube comments that have been left in episodes over the last year and a half or year. People saying, I really appreciate your laid back style, man. That's why I'm subscribing to your channel. You know, there are so many people doing Let's Plays out there, either streaming or on YouTube, and they're like the chipmunks on crack, you know, and they're hyper, some of them unnaturally so. They've put on a persona that is very sometimes hyper aggressive or loud or boisterous or whatever. And there is definitely a space. I have found out there is definitely a space here for someone to do something more laid back. And from the beginning, that's what I did, just because that's naturally who I am. As I play, you hear my voice, me talking. This is how I am in person. This is the real me. This is as real as it gets. And in the very beginning, I had commenters saying, you're like Bob Ross of video gaming. And only for the briefest moment did I think about trading on that name. But I'm like, that, first of all, that'd be disrespectful to Bob Ross's estate and Bob Ross's legend. And I don't even want to think that I'm in the same space as him. But I appreciate the compliment. I appreciate it for what it is. For people saying, we like your laid-back style. That's what we come here for. So all of you folks who come here for that more relaxed, casual FM radio voice, you don't want to hear me rant with a bunch of F-bombs and lose my cool. And I totally get that. I don't like losing my cool either. And so what I was thinking when I was listening to this rant back, I was thinking there are ways to talk about the faults in games that I love and that I'm playing. Clearly I love Stellaris. There are ways to talk about its faults without being loud and belligerent and cursing a lot. There are ways to have an adult conversation about this, and to be respectful of the people who make the game. I know the developers work really hard. I know QA works really hard. I'm sure the directors and producers work really hard too. I just find it disappointing that certain bugs have been allowed to fester for a very long time. And the thing is, I'm not trying to put them down. I'm not trying to go off on a crusade. I simply want the game to be better because I know it can be, because I know that if they fix these things, all it does is improve the game. It doesn't make it worse in any way. It just makes it better. And I think that's all we ever want is for these games to be even better if they can be, you know. It's so nice to plug in a title and have it. I love watching this fleet come in, 85.4K. It's so nice to be able to plug in a title and just have it be smooth and awesome. I gotta write something down here. You're gonna hear me write with a pen, because I have a thought here at the like 52-minute mark. I was thinking recently about a couple of games that I played that were just so smooth right out of the box, like minimal or no bugs at all, no issues, smooth gameplay. Certainly the Dungeon of Nahablock. I mean, geez, for a small French indie developer, that game had all the polish of a AAA title as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the artwork was fantastic. I thought the voice acting was superb. I thought the comedy was gold. My only quibble with the game is the difficulty on some of the fights, and that's it. I mean, I just thought the game was fantastic, and I'm going to rave about that game for a long time. And same thing with the Outer Worlds. Oh my gosh, when it came out, it was just so smooth to play. So few bugs, so smooth, so beautiful, so gorgeous. Everything was really smooth and polished in the world. I mean, I only have a couple of quibbles with that game, you know, and they have nothing to do with bugs or bad execution. It was just some of your companions and their battle cries are a little repetitive, you know, and it's like, I'd like to see a little more variance there. But the game was, I had such a blast playing it. It was so much fun, and now there are DLC, and I need to actually go back and play it again. But also, that's the thing, DLC pulls you back into a game. I have games that have DLC that have come out that I still haven't played yet, and one of those is Pillars of Eternity 2, which I really want to get back in and play again because I have not played any of the DLC for it since it came out, and there were parts of that game that I really adored. I'm watching this war here while I'm touching this ring world. 7% is what we're at for war exhaustion compared to their 54%, so I like where that is going. And I don't want to give anything away on this series, but I will say, the ransomers, yeah, bye-bye. I will say that I was pretty surprised at how this all went down. I thought I built a really good species to handle this challenge of 25 times crisis and Grand Admiral with scaling. And this series was a lot of fun to do. The series that comes after, it's even kind of fun. I'll give you guys a little heads up for what's coming. Someone on the YouTube channel, and I can't remember their username now, I think it's like yellow something, they asked if I would do a series on Devouring Swarm. And I thought, wow, I'm not even sure I've played Devouring Swarm before. So I decided to roll up a species for it, and I found that I actually had a custom-made species for Devouring Swarm. But I don't remember playing it, and I don't think I ever put it on my channel. So I just rolled up a new Devouring Swarm species now that I know more about the game. A year later, I know more about the game. And I had a lot of fun playing that one. So that's gonna be the next series after this 25 times Crisis thing. But this is fun. Over here, the Uvzant. This is the Penthulans. And everybody has some pretty chunky fleet power over there. Pretty chunky fleet power. Got about 5 minutes left in this video here. And they got allies because we got the Federation. That's right. You have to understand that when I made this video, which is now probably, well, from the time I'm watching it now, and I probably made this video 2 weeks ago. By the time it gets in your hands, it's probably another 2 weeks. But because I already finished the Devouring Swarm playthrough. In fact, I just finished that yesterday, and so now that's another 18 videos that I have to edit and get ready to go. But as I made this episode, I tagged on to the end of the title. I wrote rant so that I know there'd be a rant in here that I would want to talk over probably. And as I'm watching it, some of the memory, the recollection is coming back because I can't remember everything that happened in this playthrough. I almost need to sit down and like watch the whole thing to see how it went. I know how it ends. I know how it ends. That's the funny part. I'm so excited for you all to watch it in it. But by the way, I think there's probably been 2 or 3 series that I've done that are worth watching all the way to the end. One of them was the Stark Enterprise one because we had such a bad start and we overcame a really bad start in really tough circumstances. And I think that might have even been the series where I had to become a satrapy of the Great Khan for a while. And then somebody finally defeated the Great Khan and we got our freedom. And I went on to I think get second place on the final score in that game, but maybe I won it. But it taught me a lot about coming back from adversity. And I think there's maybe another series on the channel that's really good like that, that's worth watching all the way to the end to see how I dealt with adversity. Definitely watch this series all the way to the end. I can't wait to hear people's opinions on the very end game, on the last episode. So watch it to the end and leave comments. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited for y'all to watch it. And I'm looking at my trade here, and it's, yep, more money. It's all working out really well. Boy, I'll tell you, right there, the secondary resources, the refinery resources, you're seeing me being crunched on those a little bit, like I almost always am. Devouring Swarm. Wow. You want to talk about a grave difference between it and the species I normally play? Devouring Swarm. I ended up with a surplus of refinery resources. It was amazing. There are things that you don't get with the Devouring Swarm. Of course, you get no diplomacy, and you don't have to deal with consumer goods, which is great. So you can build more alloys and more research. But the refinery resources, you end up with a surplus of those. If you stick to my rule of make sure you put one of each refinery type on every planet, oh good lord. I was able to sell them for money. So you don't get any trade as a Devouring Swarm, but you can sell refinery resources. Which was pretty awesome. So now it's 10% to 84% in that war, and I can't remember if I do some kind of settled status quo or if I go until I crunch them out, but I'm raising up my buildings and talking about moving people, moving pops. That's the other thing you don't get with the Devouring Swarm, the next series that's coming up. Since you can't engage in diplomacy, you don't get the Galactic Senate, and you don't get greater than ourselves. So you have to manually move pops around, but fortunately, you end up with a lot fewer unemployed pops because basically you unlock building slots faster than your pops can grow because you don't get robots either. So there's so many trade-offs playing Devouring Swarm compared to a regular species. It was just a vastly different play experience, and I can't wait for y'all to see it. Those people who have watched my Determined Exterminator series earlier, like version 2.2 of the game, you're going to see something very similar because they share a lot of the same characteristics as the Devouring Swarm. The difference being Determined Exterminators are robots, and they don't care about eating people, and the Devouring Swarm does. They take all these conquered planets, and instead of purging people, they just eat them. It's something else. It is something else. Yep. So, a few seconds left in the video here. So, here I am, giving the sign off, and I'm going to say it. As usual, leave a question and a comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. and as usual, my Patreon is listed in the description below. If you want to support that, please do. I appreciate all of you so much. See you next time.